Hello students, welcome you all to my YouTube channel Monotos Teaching. So today we are going to read a very important chapter of class 12 economics, that is in unit 3, determination of income and employment. And it is a chapter carrying 12 marks in CBSE examination. So today we will learn about aggregate demand, meaning and its components, aggregate demand schedule and aggregate demand curve, aggregate supply, meaning and its components, aggregate supply schedule and aggregate supply curve. So let us first know what is aggregate demand, because this is the theory for which John Maynard Keynes was famous during the Great Depression in 1930s. So let us start. What is aggregate demand? So aggregate demand refers to the total demand for final goods and services in an economy during an accounting year. Very simple. You know, in national income only the final goods and services are included. So aggregate demand means total demand for final goods. टोटल डिमांड फॉर फाइनल गुड्स, अंतिम द्रव्य एवं सेवा जितना हमारा देश में उत्पादन होता है उसमें से टोटल इकोनॉमी का एक साल में वो अंतिम द्रव्य एवं सेवा के लिए जितना मांग क्रिएट होता है, जितना डिमांड क्रिएट होता है एक आर्थिक वर्ष में, एक फिस्कल ईयर में या अकाउंटिंग ईयर में, जो 1 अप्रैल से शुरू होता है 31 मार्च में ख़त्म होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एग्रीगेट डिमांड. सो एग्रीगेट डिमांड, in other words, we can explain it in a alternative way. Aggregate demand is the aggregate expenditure, and according to Keynes, this aggregate expenditure or aggregate demand, it is the sum of two components, because Keynes has taken two sector economy, two sector model, that is household sector and the farm sector. So therefore, according to Keynes, aggregate demand is the sum of planned consumption and planned investment, or in economics it is called as exonate consumption and exonate investment, that all sectors of the economy are willing to incur at each income level. It means it is the expenditure, or it is the expenditure of the all sectors. So what are the sectors? There are 4 sectors in an open economy: household sector, farm sector, government sector and rest of the world sector. So it is the demand of the all sectors of an economy that they are willing to incur at each level of income. So now come to components of aggregate demand. So in an open economy, we know there are 4 sectors. One is household sector, next is your farm sector, third one is your government sector, and last one is your rest of the world sector. So first one is, so there are 4 sectors, so there are 4 final demand, or there are 4 components of aggregate demand in a modern economy or in an open economy. So number, private final consumption expenditure. So private final consumption expenditure means it is the consumption expenditure of the household for 2 type of goods. One is semi-durable goods and one is non-durable goods. So the consumption demand is otherwise called as the private final consumption expenditure. It is the consumption demand of the household for the non-durable goods and your semi-durable goods. Now, this consumption of household depends upon two things. One is their income and one is MPC. MPC means marginal propensity to consume. So, what is this marginal propensity to consume? We will discuss in later under the consumption function. So, this is the first component, that private final consumption expenditure means it is the consumption expenditure of the household for the semi-durable goods and non-durable goods. Second one is the investment expenditure, or it is called as gross domestic capital formation. Already you know about in the expenditure method of the national income accounting. In national income accounting, under the expenditure method, you know that GDP MP, it is the sum of the four components. One is private final consumption expenditure, second one is gross domestic capital formation, third one is the government final consumption expenditure, and fourth one is the net export. Similarly, under this aggregate demand also there are four components, the same component. So, second is your gross domestic capital formation. So, gross domestic capital formation means it is the expenditure which is incurred by the firms in connection with the purchase of capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which helps in further production. फर्दर प्रोडक्शन में जो हेल्प करता है उसको कैपिटल गुड्स कहते हैं, लाइक मशीन, प्लांट, इक्विपमेंट, ऑल दिस थिंग्स. सो नाउ दिस इन्वेस्टमेंट depends upon two things. One is your rate of interest and another is your marginal efficiency of investment or marginal efficiency of capital. So, it is in higher standard, that is your marginal efficiency of investment. It is not in your syllabus. So, just to remember that the investment expenditure means it is the expenditure of the firms or expenditure of the producing enterprises on capital goods. Okay. Third one is government final consumption expenditure. So, government final consumption expenditure means the expenditure of the government, the expenditure incurred by the general government. Government also makes expenditure to promote the welfare of the people. Government also incur expenditure on the purchase of consumer goods as well as capital goods to satisfy the collective wants of the society. जो बृहत स्वार्थ के लिए, जो जनरल वेलफेयर के लिए, देश का लोगों को जनरल वेलफेयर के लिए, कॉमन वेलफेयर के लिए भी गवर्नमेंट क्या करता है, खर्च करता है, गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज परचेज करता है. सो फॉर एग्जांपल हम कह सकते हैं पब्लिक पार्क बनाना, public hospital, then government school, road, national highway, dam. So, all these are the expenditure on which heavy expenditure is required and that is made by the government. So, government expenditure depends upon the priorities of the government. In a modern economy, the government is an important buyer of goods and services. It is income inelastic. Why it is called as income inelastic? Because whether there is the possibility of income, whether there is profit or not, but if it is important from the welfare point of view, it is important from the social point of view overall, then the government will make investment. That is one difference between the public investment and the private investment. Private will make investment in that area where there is expectation of profit. But government will not see about the expectation of profit. There may be the expectation of profit, may not. But if the investment is required, then the government will make the investment. So, this is the third one, third component of the aggregate demand. And fourth component, that is the demand for net export. This is the demand of the outside or demand from the rest of the world. And as we know that rest of the world, it is that is connected with two things. One is export and import. So, net export, demand for net export, that is represents the rest of the world. So, net export means export minus import. Already you know in expenditure method. So export means the commodity which we send to the abroad or rest of the world, that is our export. Similarly, what India brought from other countries, that is our import. Exports leads to inflow of foreign exchange, whereas imports leads to outflow of foreign exchange. जब हम एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं तो हमारा देश में फॉरेन एक्सचेंज वैदेशिक मुद्रा का आगमन होता है, इनफ्लो होता है, और जब हम इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो हमारा देश से वैदेशिक मुद्रा जो हम भेजते हैं. सो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन और द that is balance between these two, that is export minus import, that is called as net export. So when export is more than import, net export is positive. अगर एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट से ज़्यादा होता है तो नेट एक्सपोर्ट पॉजिटिव होगा. इफ इंपोर्ट इज मोर देन एक्सपोर्ट देन नेट एक्सपोर्ट इज नेगेटिव. अगर इंपोर्ट का वैल्यू एक्सपोर्ट वैल्यू से ज़्यादा होगा, ग्रेटर होगा, तो नेट एक्सपोर्ट नेगेटिव होगा. And when export and import both are same, then net export is 0. Okay, so this is the these are the main components of the aggregate demand. Now this export and import of a country that are influenced by many factors. So many factors are there: foreign trade policy, exchange rate, prices and quality of goods. So these are the some of the factors which affect the demand for net export. Okay, so come to the next one. So now, so this slide shows you the equation of the aggregate demand. Already you know in the expenditure method that aggregate demand is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So I have already told, so there are 4 sectors in a modern economy or in an open economy. So here C means consumption demand of the household, I means investment demand or gross domestic capital formation of the producing sector, G means government spending of the government sector or government final consumption expenditure, and X minus M means net export. It is represent the rest of the world sector, where X is equal to export and M is equal to import. Okay, so aggregate demand in a modern economy or in an open economy is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. You should remember this. So this is all about your components of aggregate demand. Now come to the Keynesian analysis. You know that Keynes has taken a very simple model. He has taken 2 sectors. One is household sector and one is farm sector. So according to Keynes, your aggregate demand is the sum of consumption demand and investment demand. That is, AD is equal to C plus I. C means consumption demand and I means investment demand. Now, Keynes has taken also investment constant, because that is autonomous investment which remains same at all levels of income. At each level of income, the amount of investment remains same. So in Keynesian model, aggregate demand is the sum of 2 components. One is C, that is consumption demand, and one is I, that is investment demand. So Keynesian model is called as a 2-sector model. Now see this that is a table. You see so here this table shows the different levels of income and your consumption and investment. So when income is 0, consumption is 40, investment is constant, that is your investment also 40, investment is also 40, consumption is also 40, and total aggregate demand is 80. Okay. Now You see here, at zero level of income, consumption is 40. Why consumption is 40? That is the question. When income is 0, consumption is 40. So this 40 that is called as minimum consumption or autonomous consumption. So minimum consumption or autonomous consumption. It means even at zero level of income, some amount of consumption is there, what Keynes told. Our income may be zero, हमारा इनकम जीरो हो सकता है, लेकिन हमारा हमारा कंजम्पशन जीरो नहीं हो सकता है. कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर शुड बी पॉजिटिव. So now the question arises, when there is no income in our pocket or when there is no income in the economy, how it is possible that consumption is positive? That is an important question. So what Keynes told? Keynes told that at zero level of income, the minimum consumption is there, and that minimum consumption to be made from, that is to be financed from our past saving. Keynes ने ये बताया कि इनकम जब जीरो होता है, हमारा कंजम्पशन पॉजिटिव होता है, कंजम्पशन जीरो नहीं हो सकता है. और वो कंजम्पशन को हम कहाँ से फाइनेंस करेंगे? फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज मेड फ्रॉम आवर पास्ट सेविंग. For a very nice example, you know that since the last 2 years there is COVID cases is there. So many people are remain that is out of job due to this that is effect of the pandemic situation. But can you say that in spite of that is zero income or nil income, their consumption is also zero? Never. एक परिस्थिति इसे हो सकता है जब हमारा इनकम जीरो हो सकता है. इसका मतलब नहीं है कि हम कुछ कंज्यूम नहीं करेंगे. हाँ, हमारा जो एक्स्ट्रा कंजम्पशन है उसको हम कट अप कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स हमारा है, मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट 2 स्क्वायर्स ऑफ मिल्क, 1 पेयर ऑफ ड्रेस, that we have to be maintained, and for that some amount of income is required, no doubt. But our current income is zero, but our consumption cannot be zero, and that consumption expenditure can be made from our past saving. So therefore, at zero level of income, consumption is positive, means your saving is negative, because zero minus, because you know that saving is equal to income minus consumption. So saving is negative when income is zero. That is called as what Keynes told, that is called as negative saving or dis-saving. Now again your income increases from 0 to 100, then 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and consumption also increases. So when income increases, consumption increases, but Keynes told that consumption always lags behind income. Keynes ने ये बताया, इनकम जितना मात्रा में चेंज होता है या बढ़ता है या वर्धित होता है, वृद्धि होता है, कंजम्पशन भी वृद्धि होता है, लेकिन कंजम्पशन इनकम से कम मात्रा में वृद्धि होता है, क्योंकि ए पार्ट ऑफ द इंक्रीज इनकम इज सेव्ड. हमारा इनकम जब चेंज होता है, वृद्धि होता है, तो उसका एक पार्ट हम क्या करते हैं? कंज्यूम करते हैं, बाकी जो पार्ट है उसको हम सेव करते हैं. सो देयरफॉर इन दिस टेबल when income increases by 100 crores or by 100, consumption increases not by 100 but by 80. And third column, that is the represent the investment, and investment remain 40-40 throughout the schedule. So aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment. So 40 plus 40 is equal to 80, then 120 plus 40 is equal to 160, then 240, then 320, then 400, then 480, then 560. I think understood. So the last column that represents the aggregate demand. So aggregate demand is equal to consumption plus investment. So C plus I. So you just add C and I, you will get the aggregate demand. Now come to the diagram, very much important. So you see that here at all level of income, from 0 to 600. The investment is same, that is 40. So therefore you see this investment line is a horizontal straight line. ये जो इन्वेस्टमेंट लाइन है ये हॉराइजेंटल स्ट्रेट लाइन है, इसीलिए उसमें लिखा गया है I इज इक्वल टू आई बार. व्हेन वी पुट ए बार मीन्स दैट इज कांस्टेंट, that is amount of investment is constant, so that is I bar. Okay, or you can say that is autonomous investment, Watkins told. So it is 40. Now the consumption curve always start from a positive intercept along the y axis. कंजम्पशन कर्व y एक्सिस से एक पॉजिटिव इंटरसेप्ट शुरू होता है, तो ये पॉइंट से शुरू हुआ है. जो ब्लू कलर जो कर्व है वो कंजम्पशन कर्व है. मिनिमम कंजम्पशन 40 है, यहाँ मिनिमम कंजम्पशन, ये हम यहाँ 40 ले सकते हैं. दिस इज 40, मिनिमम कंजम्पशन 40 है, वहाँ से शुरू हुआ है. तो 40 और ये 40, सो 40 प्लस 40 80. सो द एग्रीगेट डिमांड जब शुरू हुआ, एग्रीगेट डिमांड ये जो है 80 से शुरू हुआ है. इज इट क्लियर? आई थिंक यू अंडरस्टूड. दिस इज 40 एंड दिस इज 40 अगेन 40. कंजम्पशन इज 40 and investment is 40. So 40 plus 40 80. So this aggregate demand start from 80. Okay. Now that is consumption का जो इक्वेशन है, कंजम्पशन फंक्शन का जो इक्वेशन है, लीनियर कंजम्पशन फंक्शन, that is C is equal to C bar plus By. What is this C bar? C bar is the autonomous consumption. What is this B? B is the marginal propensity to consume. And what is Y? Y is the income level. In the next class we will discuss in detail about consumption function. Just to remember it, that the equation of the consumption function is C is equal to C bar plus By. क्योंकि कंजम्पशन दो चीज का ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, एक होता है मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम और एक होता है इनकम. सो C इज इक्वल टू C बार प्लस By. C बार इज कांस्टेंट, C बार जीरो लेवल में जो वो रहेगा. B का मतलब होता है मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम. What is this marginal propensity to consume? We will discuss in the later class. And Y means the level of income. So the equation of the consumption is C is equal to C bar plus By. Now aggregate demand according to Keynes, you know that C plus I. So in place of C, I can put the equation C bar plus By plus in place of I can write I bar. Okay, because I is constant. So there are two constant. One is C bar and one is I bar. So C bar plus I bar, let it is. So that's why you see this C bar plus I bar, that becomes A bar. So aggregate demand is equal to A bar plus By. Or you can write it aggregate demand is equal to C plus I. In place of C you can write C bar plus By plus I bar. So C bar plus By plus I bar, or C bar plus I bar is equal to A bar. So A bar plus By. Is it clear? Now come to the next one. So already this is the explanation. So in the previous schedule, even at zero level of income, consumption is 40 crores and investment is 40 crores. So that is the autonomous consumption and autonomous investment. So aggregate demand is a sum of the consumption and investment, which is 80 crores. I have already told. Every time with the increase in income by 100 crores, consumption also increases by 80 crores. So in the table you see, जब 0 से 100 इनकम बढ़ा है तो कंजम्पशन बढ़ा है 40 to 120, मतलब 80 क्रोर्स बढ़ा है. फिर जब 100 से 200 इंक्रीज हुआ है, सो 80 में से फिर 80 बढ़ा, 160 बढ़ा है. सो एवरी टाइम व्हेन इनकम इंक्रीजेस बाय 100 क्रोर्स, कंजम्पशन इंक्रीजेस बाय 80 क्रोर्स, बट इन्वेस्टमेंट रिमेन्स सेम. सो that's why the aggregate demand, that is the sum of the C and I, that changes, and but after zero level it fully depends upon the consumption expenditure. सो एग्रीगेट डिमांड जो चेंज होता है वो कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है। व्हाई? बिकॉज इन्वेस्टमेंट इज सेम एट ऑल लेवल ऑफ इनकम। इन्वेस्टमेंट कांस्टेंट हो गया, सो जो भी चेंजेस आता है वो कंजम्पशन में चेंज आता है। सो कंजम्पशन में जितना चेंज आता है उसी हिसाब से एग्रीगेट डिमांड में क्या होता है, चेंज होता है। दैट इज द थिंग। सो विथ एन इंक्रीज इन इनकम एग्रीगेट डिमांड ऑल्सो इंक्रीजेस। जब इनकम बढ़ता है एग्रीगेट डिमांड बढ़ता है, बट द रेट ऑफ इंक्रीज इन एग्रीगेट डिमांड इज लेस देन रेट ऑफ इंक्रीज इन इनकम, because aggregate demand, the change in aggregate demand is based on the consumption, and you note that every time when income increases consumption increases but less than income. So therefore when income increases aggregate demand also increase, but the rate of change in aggregate demand is less than the rate of change in income. Okay, so now come to the next one. What is aggregate supply? So this is very simple. So aggregate supply, that is related to the total supply of goods and services by all the producer in an economy. So total economy में जितना भी goods and services हमारा produce होता है, that is otherwise called as NNPFC or national income, that is your aggregate supply. So you know there are 4 factors of production. One is land, labor, capital and entrepreneurs, and the producer pays rent to the landowner and wages and salaries to the labor, interest to the capital and profit to the entrepreneurs. So the rent, wages, interest and profit, these are called as the factor payments, or these are called as the remuneration given to the different factors of production for rendering their services in the production process. Already in national income method में तुमको पता है, उसमें मैं बताया हूँ कि प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस में ये जो उत्पादन का साधन होते हैं, 4 साधन होते हैं, जैसे कि हो गया तुम्हारा लैंड, देन लेबर, देन कैपिटल, देन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स। उनका सर्विस के बदले में उनको जो रेमुनरेशन मिलता है, that are called as remuneration to the factors of production, or that are called as the factor payments made to the different factors of production. And mainly they are classified into 4. One is rent, one is wages, and third one is interest, and fourth one is profit. So these are the factor cost from the producer point of view. अगर producer देखेंगे उनके लिए cost of production है. So these are called as the factor cost, means cost which is incurred for the factor of production. So these are treated as the factor cost from the producer point of view. And from the factors of production point of view और फैक्टर ऑनर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, दीज आर कॉल्ड एज फैक्टर इनकम। अगर उसको फैक्टर का ओनर जो है उसके तरफ से अगर उसको हम हिसाब करेंगे, कैलकुलेट करेंगे फ्रॉम दैट एंगल, सो दैट आर कॉल्ड एज फैक्टर इनकम। सो फैक्टर इनकम एंड फैक्टर पेमेंट बोथ आर सेम थिंग, डोंट कंफ्यूज। फैक्टर इनकम जो है, फैक्टर पेमेंट सेम है। दस एग्रीगेट सप्लाई इज द टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ मनी वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज which is paid to the factor of production against their factor services, that all the producers are willing to supply in an economy. In other words, it is the total cost of production of goods and services produced in a country, or it is the value of net national product at factor cost, or that is called as national income. Already I have told. And if NFIA is 0, because you know the in national income your NNPFC is equal to NNPFC is equal to NDPFC plus NFIA. अगर NFIA 0 होता है तो हमारा NNPFC और NDPFC दोनों बराबर होगा. So you can that is think that this aggregate supply is nothing but it is the NDPFC if NFIA is absent, or if NFIA is present, it is NNPFC. Okay. Now this equation shows, already I have told that there are 4 main components of aggregate supply: rent, wages, interest, profit. So according to the income method, your rent, interest and profit that are coming under the operating surplus, and wages and salaries that are coming under compensation of employee, and another one is there, that is mixed income is also that there. So if you add these 3, we will get the NDPFC, and NDPFC is equal to NNPFC. Because why? because we are taken a closed economy, because there are two sector economy. Keynes has taken the two sector economy, one is household and one is the farm. So therefore it is in two sector economy. There is no question of any trade, there is no question of export and import. So it is a closed economy. So when there is a closed economy, there is a no factor income received or no factor income paid to abroad. So therefore NFIA is 0. So when NFIA is 0, so your national income and domestic income both are same. So therefore in Keynesian model, aggregate supply is NNPFC is equal to NDPFC is equal to factor income is equal to rent plus interest plus wages plus profit. Remember it. So Keynesian model में aggregate supply का मतलब होता है NNPFC, NDPFC which is equal to factor income which is equal to rent plus interest plus wages plus profit. Why? Because NFIA is 0. Now this is the aggregate supply schedule. Simply income starts from 0 to 600. Consumption already 40, then 80 वृद्धि करना है, 80 बढ़ाना है, 40 120 200 280 360 440 520. Saving means income minus consumption. So 0 minus 40 minus 40 minus 20 0 20 40 60 80. And aggregate supply, that is consumption plus saving. So consumption plus saving, that is your it is consumption plus saving. So consumption plus saving, so that is 40 plus minus 40, it is 0. Similarly 120 minus 20, that is 100. Then 200 plus 0, that is 200. Like this 280 plus 20, that is 300. Then 360 plus 40, that is 400. Then 440 plus 60, that is 500. Then 520 plus 80, that is 600. Now you see that is your, these two column are same, this column and this column. Okay, what is the income column and the aggregate supply, both are same. Why? Because we have already that is proved in the previous slide that aggregate supply is nothing but it is the net domestic producted factor cost or NDPFC. Aggregate supply is nothing but it is the NDPFC. So therefore what is the income level, and that is the aggregate supply. Understood? Okay. Now this slide shows the aggregate supply curve, and aggregate supply curve that is drawn through the origin making an 45-degree angle. Why this is 45-degree angle? I am telling you that there are two axes, one is OX axis and one is OY axis. Okay, so one is OX axis and one is OY axis. So this is your OX axis and this is your OY axis. And in OX axis national income is measured, and in OY axis consumption and saving are taken. Now according to the Keynesian model, your aggregate supply is equal to consumption plus saving. So consumption और saving का वैल्यू जितना होगा नेशनल इनकम का वैल्यू उतना होगा. तो इसीलिए अगर 45 डिग्री एंगल होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल आई टेक ए वैल्यू, सपोज this is our income level, suppose here 200. So here our income level is 200. So this 200 means income is O, let this is J, suppose this is K. So OK, suppose 200. Then this O, suppose I will take, I will give this, let this is OP. So OP must be equal to OK. So OP का वैल्यू O के साथ, OK के साथ समान होना चाहिए. तभी C प्लस एस का वैल्यू नेशनल इनकम के साथ या एग्रीगेट सप्लाई के साथ, एग्रीगेट सप्लाई जो है वो C प्लस एस है और C प्लस एस एंड वाई बोथ आर सेम इन द टेबल। तो इसीलिए इफ दिस विल बी द 45 डिग्री लाइन, देन यू से दैट this equal to this according to the geometry, because it is a right angle isosceles triangle. So the value of this national income and this value of this C plus S both are same. Okay, that's why the in Keynesian model the aggregate supply curve is starting from the origin making an angle of 45 degree. Okay. So now we will discuss one numerical problem. So question is calculate aggregate demand in an economy if autonomous consumption expenditure is 50 crores, marginal propensity to consume is 0.5, investment expenditure is 80 crores and income level is 100 crores. So what is the solution? So what is given? The given is minimum consumption, that is C bar is equal to 50, and B, that is marginal propensity to consume is 0.5, then autonomous investment I bar is equal to 80 and income Y is equal to 100. So according to the Keynesian model, aggregate demand is Y is equal to C plus I. So in place of C I can in place of C I can write C bar plus By, because this is the equation of the consumption function. So C is equal to C bar plus By, and in place of I write I bar. So now C bar is equal to 50. So C bar is equal to 50 plus B is equal to, so this B is equal to 0.5 and C bar is equal to 50. So 50 plus 0.5 into Y, Y is given as 100. So now 50 plus 80, that is 130, and 0.5 into 100, that is 50. 0.5 means 5 by 10. So 5 by 10 means 1 by 2, 1 by 2 into 100 means 50. So 130 plus 50 is equal to 180 crores. So when that is income is 100 and minimum consumption is 50, marginal propensity to consume is given as 0.5 and investment is given as 80, at that time aggregate demand in the economy is 180 crores. Understood? So this type of problem may be asked in the CBSE examination. So this is about your aggregate demand, its components and aggregate supply. And next we will read about what is consumption function, what is APC, what is MPC. Okay. So I hope you understand the topic. If there is some problem, then you can write in the comment box or you can WhatsApp to me. My WhatsApp number is 9437533129. So this is my number. You note this number. Okay. And please like my channel and subscribe my channel. With this, thank you. Have a nice day.